You're welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily, and it's time to go into our communities. Today, we are looking at a strike, by tanker drivers. There is a report on this. Let's take a look at it and come back to the studio for a conversation.
The petroleum tanker drivers and liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) drivers have announced an indefinite strike starting from Monday, June 26, 2023. They are demanding the rehabilitation of roads in the petroleum enclave of Tema, Takrady, Kumasi and Buipe. A visit to the Volta Aluminium Company Vaco Pong Road in Tema revealed numerous parked tanker vehicles along the road, indicating the drivers' participation in the strike. The tanker drivers have taken this step to amplify their demands for improved road conditions. They also want the government to expedite action on addressing the poor road network, which has detrimental effects on their health and vehicles. Despite their efforts to engage the Ministry of Roads and Highways, the drivers claim that their concerns have been ignored. Some drivers expressed their frustrations to Citi News, emphasizing the significant impact of the situation on their well-being and vehicles.
The road from Vaco roundabout to Pom, and this is where we transport the fuel from. This is store. You understand? There is one depot to the other side. Then from Tor, you go to fuel trade. Tor, we do both white products, ATK, and then gas. And this is gas plant. So look at the depth of this road. When a tanker fully loaded, 54,000 or 45,000, enters this road, we have something we call the fifth wheel. We call it the turntable. It's something very small which is holding the tanker, the head to the bulk. That thing can break here. And with the petroleum product, when the car falls, it is iron, though it will cause a spark.
This thing should go on if you go to different countries. A whole Ghana oil refinery or a whole Ghana refinery. Look at our road. You yourself, you can see example right now. At times, it rainfall, traffic to stop here. A lot of whole things, activities are. It's not only tankers alone. Our depots, wires are here, as my friend said right now. So it's not need to beg government. You understand? It's not need to beg government because we vote for government. So government to do our demands. You understand? So if you're not conveying the fuel to the customer side, the country will not go on.
This particular stretch, we don't know. All the leadership knows we have oil industries here. When I load, it can take you almost like 30 minutes or to 40 minutes to even pass through, especially when if it rains. Then you need to drive slowly before you get to yard. Then even you are even stressed before you even hit the road. You see it. So you see, we work more, but you use your salary to even go to hospitals and be treating yourself. We have contacted all the leaderships to even support to watch the road for me, but still we haven't got any idea. So as we the drivers, the way it's affecting us, sometimes to even our trucks, the maintenances. Our directors do. If maybe at the end of the year you think, oh, I have work, and even I use my money for some particular hospitals and things, even for our directors to give us bonuses because of this road and maintenance, we don't have no bonuses.
Raymond Aflo, the General Secretary of the Ghana National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union, appealed to the government through Citi News, urging them to pay attention to their demands and facilitate the resolution to enable the drivers to resume work.
The road that has been given to him, the expansion of the road, what will the expansion of the road do? So, there are so many, we have 7 terminals, 7 to 8 terminals on that very enclave. Sonia Sogli, left, when you branch the left, we have them there. The power companies are there, Ashka, Tema, Power and others, they are all there. And including The depots there all have liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, attached to the depots, whereby you can load petrol, you can load diesel, you can load LPG, gas. So in case a gas truck fell down and there was an explosion, who can near the situation? So we are appealing. Now, we are not the one who awarded the contract, neither are we the consultants to the road. So we only want the government bring the dozers on the road, clear the main road, compact it with the roller compacting machines, and let it be motorable for the tanker driver to apply.
Right, so these are the concerns of the tanker drivers, and rightly so, because this is very, very dangerous. And you know, sometimes we just sit down for the unexpected, in this case, the expected, to happen before we all rise up to the occasion to find solutions. David, this is, I mean, it's frightening because I have seen, I mean, a tanker in flames before. Now, it is extremely frightening. Frightening. I mean, when I say it's extremely frightening, because where I was and the heat, and I was so much afraid of the explosion because it was around the Weja toll booth area, you know, and this was inflamed very close to the toll booth police station, and you know the traffic on that stretch. So there are no vehicles moving and serious gridlock, you know, and the tanker caught fire, is in flames. Now, the only thing you could think of doing was to get out of your car and run and leave the car there because the vehicles are not moving because of the traffic.
Yeah, you can't
now,
turn around.
if there was an explosion, because at this point, that was what we were all praying against, that there shouldn't be an explosion. Because really, if there was one, what was going to happen? You know, you can imagine the level of devastation that this will cause, the casualties. I mean, it was very frightening and seriously burning, and you could feel the heat, you know, I mean, meters away. And this is what we are sitting down looking on. And this can easily happen. If a tanker, I mean, topples over, what is going to happen? You know, the impact. I mean, this will spark fire.
Yes. No, so we don't take a lot of things very seriously in this country. And one of the struggles that I have, you know, is, you know, we made this argument and we say that we shouldn't put, we shouldn't cite, you know, fuel stations, gas stations, and all of that. We shouldn't situate it, you know, in residential areas. Now, from what I've noticed is that places like in Europe, you actually have gas stations. Like you have an apartment block, right? The ground floor is a gas station, and the rest of the floors up there are residences, the shops and residences, right? And I looked at it and I asked myself, I said, so what is it about these people here, in this community here, living in a different country under laws that I'm sure we also have back home in Ghana, you know, and yet the fuel station is situated not just in the residential area, it's part of the building. You know, do you get it? It's like it's the insistence on regulation.
Exactly.
And the right things being done.
Conscious.
And regular checks.
Exactly.
Right? So I'm saying that because if you look at these roads that we're seeing here, these are roads that can easily cause an accident. I mean, we will see a full range of government machinery presented, go there the day after an unfortunate disaster.
Interviews.
And they'll be granting interviews, consoling families, you know, do all these kind of things they'll be doing. Remember what I was saying just the other day? A grader. That's all you need.
Of course.
A grader and a roller, compactor. That's all you need.
And you know, David, it's very frightening sometimes when you're even driving.
And the stretch of road is not even like a long stretch, about several kilometers of road. No.
And sometimes when you are really driving next to these vehicles, it's so frightening when you're a small car.
Yes.
You know, and to find yourself, I mean, to be on an unmotorable road with the same such huge vehicles,
and then they are
and you see how they
like
are,
this.
you know, exactly.
And then you
know, and you are there. Sometimes you are in between two of such vehicles. Sometimes there's one ahead of you.
Been between two of them
look,
before, and
last week on the Achimota stretch, I found myself, very close to such huge tracks, one on your left, one on your right, one in front of you, and it had rained. And you know the way we drive in this country when it rains. At a point, I just had to slow down for the vehicles to move because, I mean, literally, it was that frightening. It was scary. You feel like, what if something happens? And that is what we do in this country. Anything can happen. And I always say that, look, we live in a country where you must ensure your security first because nobody really will come in. And even our response to emergencies and disasters, you get it. If something happens, it's going to be terrible.
About that,
exactly. And so I think that this is something that we really need to pay attention to because it is that scary. And we all are at risk.
Yeah. Well, we have the chairman of the National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union, Mr. George Nyanu, on the line. Sir, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So, how long are you willing to be on strike for? Till,
Thank you so much. I would like to say good morning to your listeners. Yes. To us, we are ready to serve the country. Right. So we did not give any date that up to date. So this day, we will stay down up to that day.
Yeah.
What we are asking for is to fix the road, the authorities to fix the road for us. Okay? If we see them committing themselves right away, starting with what we are looking at, yes, we will solve the country.
Okay.
But we cannot continue taking the risk, okay, so far as the bad rules are concerned. We can't do that.
Okay. Let me ask you, you're a union. Is it not possible that as a union to come together and say that, okay, maybe we should get a grader or something to take care of ourselves because government is not doing it? Would that not have worked?
The union to take care of the road?
Yeah, I'm asking. Is that not an option?
Master, the question you asked me, have you heard some before?
Well,
that the union.
Yes, you are the tanker drivers union. You use the road, and
okay.
Yes, you use the road. My logic is very simple. You use the road, and the pressure on the road and the way the road has become, it's something that, number one, it benefits you. But apart from that, the weight on the road is also what damages the road. Do you see? So I'm asking myself that, is it not possible that whilst you're waiting for government, maybe we get a grader and then we grade it so that at least it's a bit safer to drive on? Is that not an option?
I'm sorry, with all due respect. Yes, I have respect for each and every one.
Okay.
I would have been in the position to say, okay, I'm sorry, I cannot answer this question. Because how come a union start constructing roads in Ghana to assist government? No, please.
Okay,
please.
So
we can't do that.
You can't do that. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So if the government does not respond to your request, how long are you willing to wait?
Yes, I have already answered you. Yes, I'm a human being. I have a family.
Yeah.
All right. The whole entire Tema communities. People living in the communities are human beings. They have families. And in our rules and regulations, in the driving system, so far as hazardous product is concerned, we need to protect life and property. We need to protect life and property. That is how we have been trained. So far as life and property are concerned, we cannot continue working in these dangerous roads to cause harm to the residents. We can't do that.
So if for a month or two you are still waiting for government, you'll still maintain the strike?
Yeah, I will answer yes, simply because I know that the authorities have heard about this and they are aware. I make it clearly that the sitting government, okay, gives authorization to who is in charge, the road and highway minister, since 2017. Which I can bear, His Excellency the President can bear me witness. I myself present the petition to him. If the roads are part of the petition that we present to him. Okay? Yes. So we are not asking any different thing. So if they know and they are listening, I believe they know. they should have started doing something about it. If indeed Ghanaians, they are concerned about Ghanaians, the person in charge is concerned about Ghanaians' welfare, Ghanaians' health, you get the point. Yes, by this time, this Monday, they should have wake up and do something about it. And you, the media, I believe you have seen the road yourself.
We are looking at it. It's on our screens.
Yes.
We are looking at it.
Yes. So my expectation is you should have stopped calling me. Then you call the person in charge of the road.
Yeah,
you
but
start calling the person in charge of the road.
But we need to hear your input as well.
Listen, it's a national asset. It's not my property. Neither any tanker driver's property. It's a national asset.
Yeah. How long is this stretch of road, by the way? Just to give us context, how long is this stretch of road we're talking about?
Come again?
How long is this stretch of roads that we're talking about?
The stretch of the road.
Yeah, roughly. Just give us an idea. How long is it? A kilometer, 2 kilometers? How long is it?
Yeah. From Bako roundabout to Kum, where the depots are sited, it is about 7 to 8 kilometers.
7 to 8 kilometers. Okay. All right.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
Then when you go to Takoradi, it's about half kilometer.
Okay.
Kumase is quarter kilometer because from Kumase depot, the entrance of the depot, this is what we are talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. So in all, you will not get about 15 kilometers.
Okay.
In all, Takoradi Kumase, you will not get about 15 kilometers, 20 kilometers. So what are they talking about?
Right, George.
We are not talking about the entire roads in Ghana. No, we know the situation Ghana has now. Okay, we are not talking about government should fix all the roads in the country. No, but the dangerous places where these tiny bomb tanks are sited. Yeah, that's the complaint you are giving.
Right, George. So there is an expected meeting between yourselves and the Roads Ministry today. What exactly are you expecting to hear, just so you can call off the strike?
Okay, I think I've been mentioning it already. What we are looking for from authorities concerned is we want to see, because they have disappointed us for so many years. When they come, we give them our listening ear. We respect them. Oh, just call your members to order. We will do it. Then we give them that due respect. But when they get to their offices, then they turn their back against us. All right? So, henceforth, we have also learned a lesson from it. We want them to commit themselves by seeing graders, bulldozers on the road, working. Both Tema, Takoradi, Kumasi, then we will start work. Aside that, we'll still continue to stay down.
Now, do you think that authorities are deliberately not attending to the roads?
I cannot sit down here and say deliberately. I don't know their challenges. But if they really get revenue from the oil sector, okay, from the depots, that should be their priority area. Those areas should be their priority area. Okay? So I cannot sit down here and say it's deliberate. If it is deliberate, it's up to them.
So now,
okay,
if they come in to give you their reasons that it is as a result of funds, and so the roads cannot be fixed immediately, send contractors on the road to fix it immediately like you are expecting, what happens? Would you consider, going back to work and then maybe work with some timelines that the ministry will provide?
Okay, thank you. We will not consider any excuse. The reason being is, we tanker drivers, so far as we are concerned, we don't do politics. We support each and every one, provided our work is going on perfectly. We don't go left to right. No, we are Ghanaians. Now, assuming an MP or a minister died in Pum, like assuming a minister or MP dies right now, you will see authorities fixing the road in a manner. We are all Ghanaians. We are looking at what is happening in the country. We are seeing what is happening. You get the point. So do we wait for something to happen before they come to our aid? No. Look, my brother and sister, I think those who don't have idea about petroleum system don't know what the danger that we are talking about. If a gas, LPG gas, okay, fails right now, LPG can travel in kilometers, okay, and bring fire to where it is. And the LPG tanks are sited in the refinery here. Okay? We are sitting on a timing bomb. We are sitting on, it should be a priority area for them. You see, all our ministers and MPs, okay, our authorities, most of them are in Accra. They are safe. We that get closer to even we the drivers inhaling petroleum products into our system, we end up getting cancer. But we don't have options. So fixing the road for us to serve the country too is a problem. We need to come and talk about it before.
George, would you not consider Ghanaians in general, because we are looking at an imminent, shortage of gas in the system if you guys are not working?
Okay, so if we continue considering Ghanaians that maybe because of shortage, we will consider them. So Ghanaians don't consider we the parents who are in danger getting into the refinery of the depot, loading. Do they also consider us? Please answer me. Do they also consider us?
Well, I think we are all considering each other because there are issues in the country, but I respect your position on this. We will wait till you have your meeting with the minister or the Ministry of Roads and Highways, and then we'll further our conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time this morning.
You are welcome, dear.
Yeah, and so I guess it's a face-off now. The government's position is, we'll hear from them today and see what government's position actually is. The striking drivers seem to be very grounded in what it is that is their position and are not willing to budge or bend. So this is the situation that we have. We would have to talk to people from the government to find out what it is that they are proposing to, put on the table for the drivers, for the driver union.
George mentioned something, and I think that the government has set a certain precedence, that makes everyone a bit worried. So now what you hear is until your MP dies or something happens for a by-election, you don't really see development. And he alluded to the fact that let's have such an emergency, touch wood. You see government rushing to fix roads and do some developmental works just to convince, electorates into going into an election and voting for them. But must it be so? Okay, I think that, look, as for the tankers, the gas tankers, is very scary. And this is something that can really cause, and you see, this is a preventable accident. Okay, this is something that we can really do something about. And I think that looking at where Valco is and the kind of vehicles that go on, to use the facility and all that, at least I always say that there are certain places that we shouldn't have bad roads leading to them, like tourist sites and,
if you're
gas,
going to make
gas
money
companies,
from it,
all
and it's
that.
going to be,
Exactly, and these are dangerous things that can cause all of us, imagine a gas tanker, exploding. We've seen some before.
In a market area.
Can you understand?
Imagine?
We've seen some
In
residential areas.
residential
we know the
area.
Valco stretch. We know what can happen. We know how busy these areas are. Can't we even grade the roads?
No, for me, that's the biggest thing. It's a low-hanging, fruit there. You just put a couple of graders on the road. Though you put them to work for 3-4 days. The work is done, compactor. Make sure that it's, hard and easy to drive on, so that it doesn't wear off that quickly. I don't know why we sit around for this. And then when you suggest some of these things, you almost feel like you're oversimplifying the issue, but really it's not that complicated.
Something needs to be done just so they'll have a smooth drive on the road.
And we're saying, and here we are saying that there is not enough money and all of that. So if there's not enough money, let's just do practical
appropriate
things.
Technology.
Exactly.
Can we do something else?
Pragmatic things that will make systems work, so that at least whilst we are waiting for the big money to come, we can manage and we can be reasonably comfortable. Nobody even in your four-wheel drive, wants to be driving on that road the way the road is, as we saw it on our screens, for a week. Your waste will even have problems.
Of course, and I mean, this really, I'm sure if the ministers, go stand by the road and see how these trucks are moving.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need, strikes to threaten authorities to work, because I think that they're also beginning to get used to the strikes. Because everybody is striking, so they feel that, well, at some point you get back to work.
No, but have you noticed that? Have you noticed that always a year and a half to 2 years before an election, the strikes suddenly mount up?
And because that is the example, and it looks like that is the language that
the politicians
understand. Because now you need to come back to the people for their votes, and so they also feel that now we have the bargaining power. So exactly.
Anyway, so we've been joined on the line by the Vice Chairman of the LPG Marketing Companies Association of Ghana, Gabriel Kumi. Good morning, sir. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Hello.
Mr. Kumi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Right. So I wanted to find out from you, this is going to impact the cost of LPG, isn't it, the strike?
Well, for me, even the cost of LPG is not is the list of the impacts that we are likely to face.
What is the impact? What is the impact we are likely to face?
It's going to impact negatively on our economy. Let me clarify this position. That is not only LPG tankers that are on strike.
Yes.
It's all tankers nationwide. There's no tankers, petrol, diesel, kerosene, aviation fuel. Every tanker is off. They are not working.
Yes, yes.
And if on Monday when they started, I sounded the alarm that if this will travel 48 hours, we will begin to see some shortages in the system. And this is exactly what is happening at the moment.
Okay.
Across the country, we have some LPG stations. In fact, the LPG is the one being hit first. We have some petrol stations, some diesel stations that are also running out. And from the monitoring that we are doing, if by tomorrow this strike is not averted, we are likely to have crisis on hand this weekend.
Crisis in the shape of what?
Crisis in the shape of no fuel. If you don't have fuel to power your nation, it's a big crisis.
Yeah.
Economic activity will come to a standstill, and this will hit so hard on our economy. Already, economy is not doing so well. We should not fuel that. We should not compound that by curtailing the movement of goods and services and people in the country. And this is exactly what is going to happen this weekend if we don't move quick to avert the strike. Now, what the strike started on Monday. You know, normally Monday is the day that drivers that we use to restock the depleted stock that we had at our stations.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the strike hit on Monday. Monday we did not work. Tuesday we did not work. Wednesday we did not work. And today is Thursday, we haven't worked. What this means is that a lot of stocks are being depleted. And by close of today, we will see the impact of what I'm saying on the market. There will be queues in retail outlets from later today. And if that should travel into tomorrow, and then Saturday, Sunday, the impact will be so great. Now, let me state that this issue is not a new issue. Like the driver, the chairman was trying to explain to you. This started in 2017.
2017, okay.
2017, June 2017, they attempted to go on strike.
Okay.
Some of us stepped in and spoke to them to look at the replication of this strike on the nation. And then we appealed to government to sort this problem out.
Yeah.
A contractor was organized on site. When the drivers went back to work after 1 week, the contractor packed his bag and baggage and left the site. When we did our checks, we were told that the funds that were supposed to flow to these contractors to complete the work was not forthcoming. So they had abandoned the work. Since 2017, every year, when the rain starts like this, these drivers take up arms and want to go on strike. It takes some of us, it takes the leadership of the downstream industry to always talk to them. And we've been consistently talking to them since 2017.
Okay.
In 2021, they again wanted to go on strike. And that time, I remember the chief executive of MPA, Dr. Mustafa Hamid, stood in and organized some graders and some equipment on site to start working on these roads.
Yeah.
Again, Mustafa Hamid is not a road minister. He's not a finance minister. He did what he could. So when he got to a stage where the contractor was again complaining that funds were not coming, so he abandoned the work and left the scene. And this has continued till this year. In fact, we have tried very, very, very hard to avert this situation. In fact, even as Saturday, Sunday, we were in a meeting with them, and Sunday night we were meeting them trying to avert this. But it got to a point that we realized that, look, the drivers will not take any of what we're saying, because this has, as I indicated, this has been the situation for the past 6 years, and they can't take it any longer. Now, the impact, whether even if they are to go back to work today, we are still going to have that impact over the weekend, because it takes about 24 to 48 hours to distribute petroleum products across the country. So even if they are to start loading today, I can assure you that fuel will not get to certain areas of our country before the weekend. So we should have, and this thing started on Friday. They sounded the alarm bell on Friday. Monday came, nobody has done anything about it. Tuesday, nobody has done anything. Wednesday, nobody has done anything about it. I think the legitimacy of these drivers' demand can never be contested. Look at the roads they are flying on. Like the chairman was saying, if right now, if an LPG truck is to fall in front of toll and there's an explosion, I can assure the whole enclave will get bent. The only refinery that we've not been able to even manage well all these years will go down in flames. Are we waiting for another circle to happen before we rush there and go and speak all the brothel that is in this world and go back and do the same thing? Are we waiting for another atomic junction to happen before we rise there with our V8 and with our convoy to go and talk all the English in this world and come back and do nothing? This is serious. We must be serious in this country. We must be serious. This is an enclave. The enclave. These are enclaves that give government the most tax. I don't know of any industry that is taxed more than the petroleum downstream industry. The amount, as I can assure you, the taxes this government is getting, about 50% is coming from this sector. Why can't we fix 10 kilometers or 15 kilometers of road for them? Why? Why must we wait to get here?
Gabriel, thank you. We really appreciate your time and your thoughts. That was Gabriel Kumi, who is the vice chairman of the LPG Marketing Companies Association of Ghana. And you heard it. It's crunch time. Crisis can be averted. Question is, are the duty bearers, those who are responsible, do they see the danger the way it actually is? Are they serious about solving problems as they claim? Well, your duty bearers, it's obvious. Like he said, in the next 2 days, we will start seeing queues. And when that starts, that's also a different kettle of fish altogether. Frema, I think enough has been said.
No, because at this point, I don't know what
we
else
need to talk
we
to
should.
Government, though. I want to hear from government.
But why must we even talk to government?
You should come and tell us what their plan is.
Because you see, the thing is so.
Because
evidence.
Monday it
Do you
started,
get it?
Tuesday nothing, Wednesday nothing,
No,
Thursday
I think that
this time of the morning
we waste
tankers are going
too
anywhere.
much of production time, productive time, talking. We talk too much in this country. Why are we even talking? Is the strike not enough? Is it not loud enough, a language for government to understand?
No.
So if the people
They're not paying yet.
laying down their tools is not enough, you saying go to work is what will change their minds?
Well, the thing is that nobody likes embarrassment. So at the end of the day,
No, but is the people not working? You see, is the people not working enough embarrassment?
The whole world what is really going on.
The people are on strike and nothing has been
But if you're
done.
on strike and it's in the quiet, you just
But this silence is so loud. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That if they really care, the people have been talking since 2013. 2017. Nothing has been done about it. Okay. Now they've laid out their tools.
Yeah.
What else do you want them to do?
Well, I mean, the ripple effect will be quickly felt across the country. And they're not just asking about roads in Accra. It's in Takoradi, it's in Kumasi. And so it looks like the enclaves where the tankers move, because of the heavy nature of the vehicles, this is something that will always happen, wear and tear on the roads. And so government is on you. Well, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll still get into some more conversations. All right, so welcome back, and we're still having a conversation on our community development segment, and we've been talking about the strike by the petroleum tanker drivers unions. All of them have gone on strike across the country, and this presents a very dire situation because we depend a lot on petroleum products as a nation, whether it is for cooking, which is the LPG, or it's for aviation fuel, petrols to move our vehicles, which of course you're talking about transportation of goods across the country. All of these are going to be affected eventually. And as Gabriel Kumi was saying, within the next couple of days, by this weekend, we'll start seeing cues if the intervention from the Ministry of Roads and Highways does not come in. Well, let's go to Ashanti region, and we have a report for you about what is happening regarding the strike in Ashanti region.
This road, on a normal day, is one of the busiest in this part of the Ashanti region. The landfill site, the Sokoban Wood Village, and the depot of the bulk oil storage and transportation bust are all situated on this stretch. Heavy-duty vehicles, private and commercial ones, ply this road, but its poor state remains a concern for motorists. Tanker drivers who transport petroleum products say the poor state of the roads is having a toll on their operations.
Actually, our concern is about network. Almost all the road networks in our country leading to our depots are bad. As it stands, we are on a sit-down strike, and it doesn't mean we have not actually done anything about it. We've approached the authorities to come and fix our roads for us, but it seems nobody is taking care of that. And it's been about 2 years since we started doing this, since we started complaining, but it looks as if nobody is ready to listen to us. So today we have decided to lay down our tools, and until they come to fix it for us, we are not going to work.
Tanker drivers here have joined a sit-down strike declared by the union. The drivers have warned the roads, if not fixed, have the potential to cause a disaster.
When it rains and it's flat here, you can't see where to pass. And when a vehicle comes here, gets to this place, it is always an eyesore because the driver doesn't even know where to pass. So you can imagine when a vehicle gets stuck here, or it happens to fall down here. Look at where the tanks are. Now a fully loaded vehicle loads from this place. Let's assume it is PMS, what we call petrol, and it happens to fall down here. It explodes. It will run into these tanks, and look, these tanks are all full of fuel. Go down there. Once the fire gets to this one of these tanks, it will explode, and then it will just start exploding because it will burst, and this is the way it will come. Now you look at the number of people who might have been inside at that time working. Then you look at the casualty we are going to have. Before you look at the losses the nation is going to incur.
Other motorists also lament the poor state of the roads and called on authorities to ensure they are fixed.
Very, very bad. Very bad. Even yesterday, I wanted to pass here, but because of the road, I have to go and pass through Atonsu before getting to Brewery. So the road is very, very bad. So the government has to do something about it.
The strike by the tanker drivers will undoubtedly affect the transportation of petroleum products across the country.
Members of the National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union and Liquefied Petroleum Gas (LPG) tanker drivers are still embarking on the industrial action to press home their demands on government to fix their poor road network, which has many loading terminals, despite assurances made by the government after a delegation from the Ministry of Roads and Highways met the leadership on Tuesday to ascertain the state of the road. The union says it will continue with the strike until works commence on the Volta Aluminium Company Limited Valco Bone Road in Tema. The Vice Chairman of the National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union, Sunday Alabi, expressed their resolve not to abort their strike until they see the beginning of works on the road.
The minister has sent his delegates to come to see how things are. So we took them to the road to see the nature of the road. And what they saw, they cannot even talk. So they said they will take the information, the issues back to the minister so that we'll schedule a meeting and then they will come and work on it immediately. But for us, we stand where we stand until the commitment is done. We see that there are machines on the road. We are still waiting for them to do that before we go back to work. We are rather helping the government because if, God forbid, there's a rollover of a gas tanker or fuel tanker, we have closer to the township, closer to the depots, new town closer to the depots. So any leakage or any spillage, and it can invite fire. So when there's a fire in any of the depots, the whole Tema will get burnt. And then what happened in the western region, the explosion happened in the western region, has taught us a lesson. That is why we don't want the government to go through what they went through in the western region. So we are rather helping the government not to go through such an incident again. That is why we decided to put our tools down for them to fix the road before we continue the work.
Mr. Alabi also noted that the ministry will be meeting the union on Thursday about their concerns.
There's a meeting scheduled again on Thursday. So until then, we cannot speak much on the issue. So we are just waiting patiently for them because in this situation, there's nothing we can do. We are rather helping the government not to incur any debts again. So I will tell my members that they should wait patiently. We know they want to work and help the development of the country. But as we speak, our safety is most important to everybody. And then in safety, they say safety lies in your own hands. So we want to hold it in our own hands and make sure we work safely in a safe environment. Because in our training, we need to work in a safe environment. But what we see now is not safe for us. That is why we want it to be fixed before we continue the work.
All right, so that's you had the Ashanti Regional Report, and of course the ministry's reaction as well to the crisis that is happening. Well, we've been joined on the line by Duncan Amo, who is the Executive Secretary of COPEC, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers. Duncan, good morning. Hello. Mr. Amo, good morning. All right, seems we're having some challenges with Duncan on the line. But yeah, so really, as you can see there, the lines are drawn. The government has to do what they have to do. You know.
Yeah, so for me, I just wait to hear the update, of the meeting that will happen between the unions and the ministry today, because I really want to know what they are going to do. I mean, in the absence of asphalt, in not being able to do what the union requires now, what are the immediate measures, that will also lessen the plight and the fears of these drivers? Because like one of them mentioned earlier, these are also people who have families, these are breadwinners, and their safety is of immense concern to them and their families as well. So, and Ghana by large, because if something should happen, look, what will happen? We don't want to see another
atomic junction.
We don't want to see another. Look, we've seen some of these at Asokwa. We've seen some of these at other areas, atomic and all that. we can avert this.
Yeah.
And that is my concern. Why are we waiting for a disaster to
we'll
occur?
call it an act of God.
Do you understand?
It's not an act
this
of
cannot
God.
be nature.
It's
Look,
not an act of God.
we can stop this. So why are we not stopping it?
Yeah. Well, why are we not stopping it indeed? Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and then we have more conversations on Breakfast Daily.
Finally, anyone can become a household.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You Go Flip, a real estate gaming platform that allows you to play and stand a chance of winning a house or cash or consolidated prizes, such as savings towards a house. Simple and easy to play. Visit www.yougoflip.com. Buy a ticket to enter the game. Wait for the end of the game to enjoy the win. Anyone can win. Flip it or own it. You Go Flip. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Play responsibly, not for persons below 18 years, and gaming can be addictive.
All right, so welcome back. And Duncan Amwa, the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, has joined us on the line. Duncan, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thanks for having me after a very long departure.
Yes, we'll discuss the departure later and the circumstances leading to the departure later. But regarding this situation that we have on our hands, it appears that the lines have been drawn. I'm not sure what government is doing at the moment, but they're having a meeting today. And so hopefully we're hoping for the best. What do you know, having your ears on the ground, as to what we can expect?
Well, so let me take the opportunity to, as a matter of urgency, free one of your viewers now to at least or LPG anyone find themselves immediately. Per our checks yesterday, stocks are running out. Again, the transport or the haulage companies are not moving. The drivers indeed are not moving. It doesn't sound as though it's one of the usual blocks. It sounds as though it's a very serious situation on our hands. The only bit I can say to your viewers now, if you need to fill up your tank, please do so, because I doubt there will be fuel this weekend.
Wow.
I mean, across circulation, yes. For some LPG stations, there's no gas already. For some fuel stations this morning, you'll be lucky to find one product or the other. What was in circulation since the start of the week, Monday, is what the pumps have been selling.
Yeah.
My checks as of Monday evening was to the extent that indeed the drivers have all parked their vehicles and are not moving. And so for what we know, for white products, that is petrol, diesel, that's about 11.6 million liters daily. If what was in circulation of almost 50-60 million is anything to go by, then the 3-4 days period could see us running out. As it stands, I can say for a fact that no product has been circulated since the start of the week, that is Monday. So for today, Thursday, if you find fuel anywhere and you can fill up, your viewers should do so immediately. We haven't been able to communicate this enough, but the situation is likely to get critical by the weekend.
But the situation that we've come to was so preventable. What would it? I mean, I'm not sure what it will cost to grade a road. Because I listened to the various conversations happening, and I'm thinking to myself, it's not that complex. Why have we come to this point?
To priorities for a country that is on a slippery slope, one would have expected that our leaders would pay attention to the very important. I stand upon a statement issued by a ranking member on Mines and Energy, the Honorable Jinapo, where he captured succinctly that indeed we have sent bulldozers, we have sent payloaders to Kumewu, we have sent them to Ascend North just a while ago. Just to deceive people or to attempt to tell people we need your vote. So, we are fixing your road. But what I can confirm to you, I did the Semakon Enclave just about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Just behind Chase Petroleum, one of the big depots in that enclave. With
Hello, Duncan? Hello? Hello, Duncan?
I don't know if you can hear me, Greg.
Okay, it's better now.
So what I'm saying is, we did a tour of those places less than 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
With a Toyota V8 and all of petroleum in a depot at the Pong Enclave.
Okay.
Was barely cut off. You needed 4 pounds.
Sorry, Duncan, your line is getting really bad. We can't hear the tail end of what you were saying. We heard that you've done a tour of the enclave in a V8, and we wanted to hear what the experience was like. If you're trying to share that with us, if you can.
The roads were barely motorable.
Okay.
And so when I got wind weekend, I wasn't surprised, because if you expect these heavy trucks to use those roads to go and ferry fuel or pick the fuel just to be able to go to other parts of the country or the other station, then you probably are not only jeopardizing these drivers and their trucks, you are jeopardizing the depot as well. Because what happens if after loading the truck over truck, is poor instructor. And the catches fire because they carry are extremely inflammable. All they need is the presence of oxygen, the product, and some once it's over 10. And so if it catches fire, the proximity to these depots, the proximity for these depots to blow up equally, the tendency for them to blow up is also, there. One would have expected that within the day or two after these drivers had come out to declare this strike, we would have been sensitive enough to at least send some of these trucks, the payloaders and the bulldozers, to at least attempt making the roads motorable. We have decided that, these are drivers, so whatever they choose to do, I'm sure we can meet with them and convince them to go back to work. It is not that they don't want to work. They are saying the condition under which they are picking the fuel from the depot is quite, dangerous. And so do something about the road. Today is Thursday. I don't know how soon the Transport Ministry or anybody in government will see the urgency, but what I can confirm is this: products are not leaving the depots. I spoke to a couple of the haulage companies. They confirmed their drivers have parked the trucks because it's a national action and nobody has moved. They may lose money. Yes, it's their business. But at the end of the day, they may prefer to lose the money than to have their trucks overturned
endanger not only the drivers, endanger their investment, endanger other investments within the enclave.
Yeah.
So maybe it's high time we pay attention, some serious attention, to the very necessary things that will progress this economy. The amount of revenue generated within that enclave, Kweku, you have no idea. It is only when the depots move products that you're able to collect your taxes on petroleum.
Yeah.
It is only when the depots are able to, move these products that the haulage companies, the BDCs, the OMCs, everybody gets something to do. If the products come and they get stranded, nobody has a job. Unfortunately, the things that would go around to generate revenue, we've paid a deaf ear. I remember clearly, somewhere the current vice president had gone to that enclave to assure all of us that the roads were going to be concrete so that the trucks can enjoy at least flying them.
Yeah.
As I speak with you, Kweku, send your cameras across Tema Oil Refinery, beyond Tema Oil Refinery, and see the state of these roads, especially when it rains, it becomes quite a disaster. So maybe you cannot improve or asphalt them overnight, but show some concern, move some bulldozers there, put some gravels on there, make these roads a bit maneuverable so that the truck can at least go safe going to pick their products from the depot. Yet, it doesn't look as though as of today, Thursday, we are paying any serious attention to what they've raised. What I have heard is that the finance minister and some transport minister would need to have a meeting with them. To what end? Are we now going to tell them within, a closed board room to say, oh, go back to work, we'll fix the roads? A promise? They would need to see some, action on these roads. If we can't demonstrate that at least we are serious about fixing them, I'm sure all of us will get on board. We would also get involved and speak to these drivers to at least put the national interest and put the fact that consumers are going to be burdened, by their action. So they should go back to work. But go back to work on the strength of what exactly? What do we tell them?
Yeah.
That's the dilemma now. And I think that the earlier authorities pay some serious attention to this, the better it could be for all of us. Because, like I said, petroleum products are gradually running out, and the pumps would soon start writing no petrol everywhere else you go, because no product is leaving the depots. And the depots, like I indicated, laycans are also, getting utilized. The vessels or ships are bringing products on a daily, right?
Yeah.
You are discharging them into the depots. Now, it gets to a point where these depots can no longer even contain the laycans. That means that your entire petroleum infrastructure downstream will grind to a halt. I don't think that they should, take these matters lightly. Meet the drivers halfway, not because what they are asking for inures to their benefit, but it inures to our collective security as far as petroleum is concerned as a country.
Yeah.
It is also something to prevent a possible disaster in waiting. If these disasters should happen, Kweku, you saw what happened at Atomic, right?
Yes.
Where an LPG truck was clearly discharging products, but because it had failed to use the suction pumps that it needed to use, the product will find its way out and about. Once it meets fire or ignition anywhere, it will return to the concentrated source. It will return and cause an explosion. Maybe the drivers have been sitting on the second time bomb. They are saying, wait, look, we will not wait for disaster to happen so you blame all of us.
Yeah.
We would rather take the precaution so that we don't become the source of your national wailing or mourning. So go and fix the road, then we'll move our trucks to go and fix the product. I think it's a simple bargain, and authorities can meet them halfway so that we all get involved to, plead with them to get back to work as soon as practical. Because if by weekend, Kweku, the situation is not arrested, I doubt anybody will get fuel on Monday to move about.
All right, thank you very much. We really appreciate your thoughts this morning. We've been speaking with Duncan Amoah. He is the Executive Secretary of COPEC, Chamber of Petroleum Consumers.